A common point of confusion in pharmacology is the difference between Kd and EC50. Both relate to a drug concentration, but they measure different stages of drug action. Kd tells us how tightly a drug binds to a receptor. EC50 tells us how much drug is needed to produce a biological effect. Understanding why these values differ requires us to look at what happens between receptor binding and the final physiological response. Kd is the dissociation constant, and it measures the affinity of a drug for its receptor. It originates from the kinetics of receptor binding. When a drug interacts with a receptor, two processes occur simultaneously. Drug molecules associate with receptors, described by the forward rate constant K4. At the same time, drug receptor complexes dissociate, described by the reverse rate constant Krev. The dissociation constant is defined as the ratio of these two processes, Krev divided by K4. It can also be expressed as the concentration of free drug multiplied by the concentration of free receptor divided by the concentration of drug receptor complexes. Experimentally, Kd is measured from a plot of percent receptor binding versus drug concentration. At equilibrium, Kd corresponds to the drug concentration that produces 50% receptor occupancy. The Kd therefore reflects how stable the drug receptor complex is. If dissociation is slow relative to association, the drug remains bound longer and the Kd is low, indicating high affinity. If association is slow relative to dissociation, the drug remains bound for a shorter time and the Kd is high, indicating low affinity. In short, a low Kd indicates high affinity and a high Kd indicates low affinity. One reason that the concentration dependence of binding and effect can differ is the presence of spare receptors. In many biological systems, the maximum response occurs before all receptors are occupied. To demonstrate this, imagine a cell containing receptors that activate a second messenger pathway, which releases calcium from intracellular stores. At low concentrations of agonist, only a small number of receptors are occupied, so only a small amount of calcium is released from the store. As the agonist concentration increases, more receptors are activated and more calcium is released. However, this process has a limit. At some point, the calcium store becomes empty. This can occur while a substantial proportion of the receptors are still unoccupied by agonist. Those receptors are therefore not required for the agonist to produce the maximum response. They are called spare receptors. These receptors can still bind agonist and activate the same signaling pathway, but because the calcium store has already been depleted, no further response can occur. As a result, receptor occupancy and biological response do not increase in a strictly proportional way. Part of the reason for spare receptors is that when an agonist binds to a receptor, the receptor does not produce the final response directly. Instead, it activates intracellular signaling pathways. In our example, each activated receptor can trigger the release of many calcium ions, which then stimulate cellular processes leading to a response, such as contraction or secretion. Because one receptor can generate many calcium ions, the signal produced inside the cell becomes amplified. And because calcium can interact with multiple signaling molecules on its way to evoking contraction or secretion, further amplification can occur downstream. Because of this amplification, a cell can reach its maximum response even though many receptors remain unoccupied. We previously saw how drug receptor binding depends on drug concentration. This curve shows the percentage of receptors occupied as drug concentration increases, and the point where 50% of receptors are bound corresponds to the KD. Now, consider what happens to the biological response as concentration increases. At low concentrations, the situation is similar to the binding curve. As more receptors become occupied, the biological response increases. However, as we saw in the calcium example, the response can reach its maximum before all receptors are occupied. Once the calcium store has been emptied, activating additional receptors cannot produce any further increase in response. So, while receptor binding continues to increase with drug concentration, the biological response has already reached its maximum. By rescaling the response curve so that it spans from 0 to 100% of the maximum response, on the same scale as the binding curve, we can directly compare their concentration dependence. We can then read off the concentration that produces 50% of the maximal biological response, the EC50. This occurs at a lower concentration than the KD for receptor binding. This difference arises because of spare receptors and signal amplification in the biological system. To conclude, KD and EC50 are different because they measure different things. KD describes how tightly a drug binds to its receptor and reflects receptor occupancy. EC50 describes how much drug is needed to produce an effect and reflects the behaviour of the whole biological system. Between binding and response lies signal amplification. That allows a full response to be generated while many receptors remain unoccupied. These unused receptors are spare receptors. Their presence allows maximal response at low receptor occupancy. As a result, EC50 is often lower than KD. In short, KD is about binding, EC50 is about response, and biology sits between the two.